Hi guys, how are you all today morning? Good morning. Today is 18th April 2022. My name is TSV Raghavan and I live in Chennai, Tamil Nadu, India. I am a published author with Amazon Kindle and paperback, and I have written books or booklets on fiction, spiritualism, and assorted subjects. This is my spiritual channel. We have already discussed about the first two stages of spiritualism, that is, self realization and liberation. Today we shall discuss about the third spiritual stage, which is the final one before a spiritualist goes to Brahmaloka or Satyaloka. This third stage is called deliverance. The seeds for deliverance are sown in the fifth planet or heavenly loka called tapaloka, and they germinate there. However, they fructify in the sixth heavenly planet called tapaloka. Sorry, the fifth planet is gyanaloka, where this deliverance seed is sown and it germinates, and then it fructifies in the tapaloka, which is the sixth planet. Once a living entity or a soul is completely delivered, he or she goes to reside in the Brahmaloka or the Satyaloka. Before we go into this, let us recap our previous knowledge. We all know that 100% of human living entities are put in a nursery for their material and cosmic evolution by nature. This nursery is in the lowest of the heavenly planets, also known as Bhuloka. This particular nursery is a minuscule part of the crust of the Bhuloka. Here, 100% humans gather material knowledge plus a tinge of moral knowledge. After they do that, 5% among them get attracted due to their past karma and destiny into spiritualism, and their spiritual knowledge begins there and then. Once they start walking on the spiritual path, they tend to reach sooner or later at the self realization stage. Their spiritual knowledge that takes them to the self realization stage begins as soon as they start walking on the spiritual path. This self realization is in the first two heavenly planets, namely Bhuloka and Bhuvarloka. The germs or the seeds for self realization are sown in Bhuloka and they germinate there, but they fructify in the Bhuvarloka, also known as Siddhaloka. Among the inhabitants of Siddhaloka, who are now already self realized, most of them go to the third planet called Swargaloka. Now, the second stage of spiritualism begins. This second stage is known as liberation. The seeds for liberation are sown in this Swargaloka or third heavenly planet. They also germinate in Swargaloka, but they all fructify. என்னம்மா நான் வீடியோ பண்ணிருக்கோம் fructify into the fourth planet called Maharloka. That is the fourth planet. Now, the seeds for self-realization were sown in the first planet, which is Bhuloka. They germinated there and fructified in the second loka called Siddhaloka. Then the seeds for the second stage liberation were sown in the Swargaloka and they germinated there itself, and then they fructified in the fourth planet called Maharloka. Now, all spiritual knowledge pertaining to self-realization were completed with the second planet, that is Siddhaloka. The spiritual knowledge pertaining to liberation were in the third and the fourth planet, that is Swargaloka and Maharloka. Now comes the third and final stage called deliverance. Spiritual knowledge for deliverance begins at the gyanaloka. We can now remember that the fifth stage of Kundalini, or the fifth chakra of Kundalini, called Vishuddhi, is activated by Jnana Yoga. And here also the fifth heavenly planet is called Gyanaloka. There is a lot of difference in the Jnana of the first Kundalini and the Gyanaloka. The first stage was material, then the second stage was the self-realization stage, spiritual knowledge. The third stage was the spiritual knowledge pertaining to liberation, and now comes the fourth stage. The seeds for deliverance are sown in the Gyanaloka, where the spiritual knowledge for deliverance begins. These seeds germinate in gyanaloka and they ultimately fructify in the tapaloka, that is the sixth loka. Hence, initially 100% of human living entities were in a nursing school. 5% of them went to the primary school of self-realization, and among them some went into the middle school of liberation, and finally among them some went into the secondary school of deliverance. After the spiritual human living entities ultimately get delivered, they reach the Brahmaloka or the Satyaloka, that is their permanent abode. Now the soul does not have to be born again. It becomes a part and parcel of the cosmic oneness, the super soul, or the impersonal Brahman. That is all for today for our knowledge about these stages of spiritualism. Kindly let me know what you think of my talk on this subject. If you sincerely feel that what I am talking makes sense, kindly subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon so that I can keep reminding you of my other videos. Till we meet next time in my next video, it is good day from TSV Raghavan.